Don't hear me online. All right.
I can.
Okay, it's coming through. Okay. Thank y'all for being here online. We're going to get started in just a second. We're getting everybody in person settled in and everything. But go ahead, put in the chat how you're doing and what you're doing to stay cool nowadays with all this hot weather and everything. It has been hot. And things are heating up too with elections and board of elections. And we have our municipal elections coming up soon. So it's heating up.
But anyway, if you also can be
I was talking about, I'm on Zoom too, so.
Okay, perfect. So that's right. Okay, so you can't hear me. Yep. Okay, we're good. We're good.
I know. So that's his phone.
What have you got there for me?
And remember, if you're in person, we do have some food over there, so please help yourself. And we'll get started in just a minute. We got a fun night ahead of us, talking about stuff, getting ready for tomorrow with the Board of Elections, swearing-ins and changes. And we have some updates, some good updates, and some not so good updates to share out and stuff to look out for.
He still has $25,000.
So we'll get started in just a second.
Check to see if everybody hears you.
They can. Yep, we checked.
Okay.
Yep, you did great, Tom.
It's going to decide, though.
Right.
It's not just going, knock on the door and say, hey, we're here.
Right.
I don't know what's happening tonight.
Everybody's showing up.
Everyone's showing up in person.
Oh my God. So this is a good.
I mean, we got two living legends in the same room.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? I don't know.
Good
to see you, man.
All right, good to see you, man.
It's
All
good
right.
to see you. I hadn't seen you in years. How you doing?
Yeah, doing good.
That's
How about
good.
you?
That's good. Doing well.
Oh,
thank
yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
you. Okay, Coach.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys?
How are you?
I need you to do something for my convenience.
Yes, sir.
I need you to bring anything, any literature. We're going to lay out a literature table.
Okay.
And if you could bring some stuff to
Yes,
put
sir.
out there
I
for
got
people
you.
to grab.
I'll put in an order next week, and I'll bring some out there.
Okay.
Yep. And Paige already talked to you about the panel, too.
She did.
Yeah, she gave me a call. Yep.
Okay, she did. Okay. She's doing better than I thought she was doing on that. I've been fussing with her because she says, he says, I need something I can do. Not only. Hey,
There you go.
And then she said, oh, we're talking about that after about 3 weeks of being in there. But it seems to be, I think she's done a great job. I think she's doing good work.
Yeah, I was talking, Rodolfo and I were talking about it this morning. We're looking forward to it.
I need to reach out to him again too, because I'm throwing double duty at him. I want him to do youth organizing, and we bring in Zoe back to do it.
Okay, perfect.
She's coming back. She'll be just before going. She's going to Vanderbilt. She's going to master. And so and I just caught it right in the nick of time. So
You're wrong.
so we're looking forward to that.
Come at 6
Can
o'clock.
I get your autograph, sir?
For what?
Okay.
I saw you on TV.
On TV.
I tell you, and I know you're a celebrity. Yeah, he was just out there. Yeah. How's it going?
Okay, all right.
Good, good.
All right.
You feeling older?
No.
Am I in the way?
No, you're good. We're about to get started. That way we can get done.
You better say hello to me.
I sure
I
will.
haven't seen you since we fought for 15 in Greenwood. Oh, I'm doing all right. It's good to see you.
How's everything going?
But, okay.
It's not going as well as I would like, but I'm here.
Yeah, that's it. That's a blessing.
Yes, it is. Good to see you.
Good, definitely good to see you. I'm so glad to see you.
If I could get everyone in person to find a seat. Come on, guys.
I'm sitting down.
I'm just kidding. I know, you're good. We're going to ask you to speak.
I saw
So,
a Tesla out there near your car.
sorry. It's not a Tesla. It's a Prius.
Is that your Prius?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
I was in a car
Well,
accident.
I know about the accident, and I heard there was a Tesla involved in the accident.
Oh, yeah, I got driven off the road by a Tesla.
Right. And I'm telling you, I saw one out there by your Prius just while ago.
Oh, you did? Well, we got to keep an eye out for that. But, okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. July 21st. We're almost through July. I don't know where this year is going, but I'm not looking forward to next year. So we should slow down just a little bit because next year is going to be a crazy election one. But we're going to go ahead and get started for tonight. We got a nice little lineup. Thank you for those of us who are joining us for the first time. If this is your first time, I'm Lucas Seijo. We are Democracy North Carolina. We're a nonpartisan nonprofit working to build a political system that works for all. And so thank you for being here with us tonight. And this is kind of what we got going on for us. So we have some wins that we need to make sure we're protecting. Start talking about first with supporting immigrant communities. Then, of course, I feel like I've been beating the dead horse on this one, but tomorrow's the big day where the Board of Elections are going to be, they're going to swear in the new members, and we're going to have new Republican majority Board of Elections across the state. So we're going to talk about what that looks like, what to keep an eye out for if you're able to go to the meetings tomorrow. Then we have a new bill to talk about, new bill alert, and it's a doozy. It's HB 958, election omnibus bill that we'll talk about. And then, of course, we'll end with some space for everyone else to give updates, ask questions, and go on from there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started talking about supporting immigrant communities. So last time we met, last June, we were talking about these two bills, Senate Bill 153 and House Bill 318. And these are both bills relating to immigration, relating to different state services and sheriff's offices further cooperating with immigration and customs enforcement and doing verification when it comes to citizenship status. And so right when we were talking, both of these bills had passed the North Carolina House and the Senate, and we were waiting on a veto from Governor Stein. We got that veto. It was some of the first vetoes that he actually issued as governor. So some of his first actions on vetoing were these two bills. So let's do a quick recap of what these bills were. Senate Bill 153, North Carolina Border Protection Act, which is interesting because everyone knows North Carolina is a border state. So we need to protect our border from those crazy South Carolinians. I was just in the space the other day when one came up here and I felt very uncomfortable the entire time. I was itching to.
We actually are a border state because of the ocean.
That is true. That is true. That is true. We are a border state because of the ocean. And so it's funny, last week I was actually in a meeting space and we were talking about border spaces with the immigration attorney who goes to the UU here. And it's very interesting right now where we are and the legalese around all of this. So what this would do would require state agencies to collect information to determine if applicants are legal citizens. So this includes the Department of Public Safety, the Department of Adult Corrections, State Highway Patrol, and the State Bureau of Investigation, amongst a couple others. And then there's a couple other provisions within it, such as take away immunity for local governments that fail to comply with anti-sanctuary ordinances. So kind of taking away some of the sovereignty from municipalities and their ability to make decisions. And then it would, University of North Carolina Constituent Services would have to comply with law enforcement and gathering information on student citizenship status as well. So making all these different organizations, programs, state departments further comply with ICE and checking immigration statuses and collecting that type of information for their use. And then we have House Bill 318. This is the Criminal Legal Alien Enforcement Act. What it did, if you remember HB 10 last year, which was the Sheriff's Cooperate with ICE bill, this bill would expand on those requirements, and it would expand the list of offenses that trigger citizenship verification to encompass all felony charges, including nonviolent crimes. So these are the two bills that we were looking at. And again, right when we were talking about them, they had both passed the NC Senate and the NC House, and they were sitting on the governor's desk. We pushed a lot. We were pushing a lot. Other organizations across the state were pushing a lot for him to override these. We were trying to get him to veto them. We got the veto, and so now we're trying to prevent a veto override from happening. So we were actually, myself, my interns, and the rest of the Democracy Summer interns and staff were at the General Assembly that last week of June before they went on the 2-week break, and they were pushing really hard to try to get that veto override vote, but they just didn't have the people that week. They weren't able to corral them because, again, they don't have the supermajority right now. Republicans don't have a supermajority. However, there was one Democrat that defected and voted with the Republicans on 318. So that's kind of the person to keep an eye out for, as well as other more vulnerable Democrats that we typically
Is that
have.
Cunningham?
It wasn't Cunningham. Can't remember what her name was, but she was from I think she was from the Triad area. So it's very slim. It's very slim. At least that's just for 318. So we just need to but we do need to keep pressure on people like Cunningham, on newer people out in the East like Dante Pittman, and making sure that they're hearing us, they're hearing voters, and that they're protecting the migrant communities out East when they come to, if this does come eventually to a vote. Because lest we forget, this is a long session in the General Assembly. So they can be in session however long they want to. And there's no real time limit on this veto override. So we have to keep an eye out for that and just continually keep pressure up there, because we know that the General Assembly likes to strike whenever we're least expecting it, when our attendance on something else. So just keeping an eye on this. And I do have a link here in the presentation that I'm going to send out to where you can look up who your state representatives are, your state's representative, your state senator, and continually reach out to them, emailing them, calling them, letting them know that you would hope that they would vote to sustain the veto and help keep these bills from becoming law in North Carolina. Any questions there about those?
So, just want to let you know, just talked with someone from the Hispanic Federation, and they are actually on Capitol Hill as we speak, trying to make sure that, they can convince anybody who's willing to vote to override the bill, the governor's veto, not to.
Yeah.
And so they've been rallying there all day.
And the North Carolina Black and Policy Network, they had a rally at 5. I'm sure it's still going on in Raleigh as well.
That's probably the same one.
Urging General Assembly members to sustain the veto and on these 2 bills, and then on other bills such as the anti-DEI bills that were also vetoed by the governor in the past couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for updates from us on this, and just continually keep the pressure on them to do the right thing and make sure that they're sustaining the governor's veto.
And the vote is expected to happen on July 29th, I think, it's from what I'm hearing.
So next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Yeah.
Do you know how many bills he vetoed?
I think there was 4 or 5 in total that he vetoed.
There's more than that.
Okay.
The ones that we're looking at, there were 4 or 5 that
It's the ones that we're looking at that help us be what the other ones are.
Yeah, they're the I think there was 2 anti-DEI bills that he vetoed.
At least one.
Yeah, and those were part of it. And I think there was another bill, but I can't remember which one it was. But I know for sure the immigration bills and the anti-DEI bills were included with them there. And those are the ones that the Black and Brown Policy Network are actively lobbying against and pushing against right now.
Hey.
You need to talk to the microphone.
But okay. So that's that. And we'll again keep everyone updated with what's happening there. We're also going to talk now about Board of Elections, everyone's favorite thing. Yeah. Look at the smiles on faces. Just the general energy it's so lifted when we talk about Board of Elections, and go into Board of Election meetings. So lest we forget, which I hope you did not forget, because if so, I've done a bad job. Tomorrow's the big day. I'm so excited. It's been on my calendar for months now. Well, like month now, when we all found out about this. But tomorrow, all 100 county Board of Elections are meeting at 12 p.m. A couple of them are meeting. This isn't any of them out east at like 2 or 6 because of some conflicts that popped up. And at these meetings, the new members will be installed at all 100 county board of elections, meaning that the boards will be back from this little weird gray area they've been in for the past month, and they'll be able to make decisions again, specifically regarding municipal elections, which are coming up in a couple of months. Everyone's so excited about municipal elections too. Look at all the smiles. I think Michael threw up a fist and said, "Rah, municipal elections." So I know we're really excited about that. So, just a quick reminder before I give it over to Courtney. What's happening is before a couple months ago, when this change was enacted, because the state Supreme Court did not issue a stay in the case between Josh Stein and Dave Bullock over who has control over the state board of elections, we are going from 3 Democrats and 2 Republicans to new board setups where it's 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And we actually have with us tonight a former board chair until tomorrow. Sorry, current board chair until tomorrow at 12 p.m.
No power, but never had any anyway. But go ahead.
Of the Lenoir County Board of Elections, Mr. Courtney Patterson. And Courtney, if you don't mind coming up here right quick and kind of just talking about this a little bit and talking about what we can expect to see at tomorrow's meeting.
Yay, Courtney. One more. Nope.
Give me just a second. He happened quicker than I thought he would. Usually it takes him a long time.
Speak ad lib.
He's got it planned out.
So tomorrow is going to be a very big day. Of course, as most of you know, and as definitely Lucas has alluded to, the fact that in December, there was a Senate Bill 382, is that right? Mm-hmm. That was passed. This was a power grab by people who lost the election. And so the power grab was to take power away from the governor. I don't know of any state in this country where the auditor has anything to do with elections.
There are none.
Exactly. And so what I'm saying is, so this is how bad off they are. So what happened was they, of course, voted because the only office they were able to win, pretty much, of course, they could have probably given it to the Department of the Labor Commissioner, Agricultural Commissioner, Insurance Commissioner, but it wouldn't have made no sense at all. In most places, if it's not the governor, it's the Secretary of State.
Right.
And so this is sort of an interesting move on their part. Now, my question is what's going to happen in 2028 when we elect a new auditor? And what are they going to want to do then? And I mean, this should be on everybody's mind since they decided, because, believe me, they're up to no good. They have tried and tried to suppress votes. They tried to take away the votes of 60,000 people across this state of North Carolina. 60,000. But I understand that the list has more than 100,000 on it right now. It's going to be up to them as to how the procedure happens as we try to make sure that people are able to fix whatever problems they said. Now, if you are not aware of what that problem was, it was line 3 on the voter registration form, where you had up until 2023, 2024, really, you had the option of putting in your last 4 of your social or your driver's license number. Some people chose not to do that. They didn't put their name in there. What they did was actually legal. But the law required that if you didn't fill out that line, you needed to bring some form of HAVA identification with you when you came to vote. Well, once you voted, it should have proven that you were who you said you were, and you had that information. So none of this ever made sense to me. Now, so what is happening right now is that they are going to be in charge of that. This State Board of Election. Let me tell you about the State Board of Election. I think they tried to make a point, but when Karen Brinsonville, after they fired her, she's doing a good job, everything in the election, they fired her. And when they fired her, she all asked to make an ending statement. And they just coldly said, no, we got a motion on the floor to adjourn, let's adjourn. And that's what they did. So it tells me something about the school, the State Board of Elections. Now, even as far back as 2016, when I was first, I actually came on the board in 2013. No, 2011. That's up on the board in the 2012 election. So, and at that time, McGovern was governor, who was a Republican. McCrory was governor, who was a Republican. So there was one me and two Republicans on the board.
Right.
So tomorrow won't be so new to me. Only thing is, I'm going to tell you, the only thing is, and I thank them every day, when you see me out here running behind Anita Earl or Allison Riggs, it's because I owe them. Because the only way that I got through that, being that minority on that board, was the information they provided me to. Now, I also noticed that on my board, and I heard several other boards, these board members now are attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened was, the way I was able to win, being a minority on that board, was with information. Information that I got from an attorney, at that time attorney Anita Earls and attorney Allison Riggs. They would provide me with whatever information I needed. So I'm wondering what's happening now. Is that there to counter that? They got to the point, they lost so many times with me, they got to a point they wouldn't challenge me. I got the plan that the board used in 2024 elections with 6 sites in Lenore County, 6 sites. I got that plan when McCrory was governor. And when the Board of Elections, State Board of Elections, had more Republicans than they had Democrats on that board. And we've been able to do it ever since. But ever since, except for last year, I always had to go to Raleigh, go to the State Board in order to defend that and to get it. And the last time that I got it, which was for the 2024 election, I got a unanimous vote from the State Board of Election. I don't think they plan to be like that this year.
No, that's what
I don't think those plans are going to go down. Watch out Sunday voting. Watch out Saturday voting. And I'll tell you what they wanted to do the first time I got it, when McCrory was governor. They wanted to have one site in Lenore County open only during the hours of the time of the board election open. So you would not have had Saturday, not Sunday voting, and you would have been 8 to 5 every day. That's what this would look. So look out for early voting. Look out for early voting. Now, let me tell you, and Lucas just alluded to that, show up at these Board of Election meetings. We have too many meetings where it's just 5 board members and the director sitting there. We need you there. We need you so that you can advocate for what is right. You only get to speak during the time that now I used to, when I was the chair, which I don't have, I'm not chair no more, I used to also say, if there was something going on and I felt that, and as long as it stayed civil, I just went ahead and said, well, let's hear what these people got to say. But that ain't going to happen no more. I can tell you that right now, it probably ain't gonna happen. The other thing that's gonna happen tomorrow, in most cases, and in my case, it's only because I didn't do it before, but, and I should have done it before. I should have done it last month, the month before. And because I have the agenda as chair, was to have went ahead and done the early voting plan for the municipal election. Should have done that. Now, the thing about that is, one thing, we've not put a lot of energy there in Lenore County because the city of Kingston has nonpartisan elections, so does Pink Hill and LaGrange. So it's not such a big thing, but where you have partisan elections, that can be something else too. So that, I just wanted to share that with you. Let me get to, okay, so they're gonna also tomorrow, on my agenda, I see that they will do duties and responsibilities of the director of election. It sounds to me like they may change.
So, do you know Harbor Freight is doing their 7?
Well, I'm not trying to talk to Harbor Freight, but anyway, but that's going to be one thing that
Starting today, Monday, July 21st.
I don't know how to
And
start
then
that
it's going to
thing.
run all the way to Sunday, July 27th. So if you guys go on the website,
I'm
here,
sorry,
they're
y'all.
going to have deal
Let me see.
1, and then they're going to have deal 2 available here. But I was able to find the leak deals for the
That's
rest
the
of the
only
week.
place
So
they
we're
use.
going to go ahead and jump into these.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bro.
Yeah.
Takes a younger person.
I'll tell you, it does.
That's the
It
extent
does.
of my knowledge. We're just closing the tab. It's
I
okay.
tell you, I just don't know. I'll tell you, he'll have my job in a little bit. You watch.
If he wants.
Okay, so, let's see. So that is the other thing. So tomorrow you will definitely see early voting plans or early voting plans approved. Now, right now, this is the trick that we've always had that's protected us a lot, even during these being a minority member, is the fact that early voting, anything to do with early voting, it has to have a unanimous plan, vote for the board. Otherwise, it does go to the state board of election. Okay. Right now, are there any questions? I mean, just any questions or discussion that you might have about the new board and what's going to happen. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen. All I can say is, as usual, they up to no good. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, is there any right for the people attending there to ask questions, or can they just say no questions?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the past here, our board chair, when it would be like what you did on your board, they would open it up to the people that were there. Do they have to do that, or can the chair say, no questions, we're just gonna, do our business and then.
There is no law that says you have to listen to any member from the audience or what have you. Right. Now, most boards do allow for, public comments at the very beginning of the meeting. A few do it at the very end of the meeting. They'll do that. And it's usually like 2 minutes or so. So it would be, it's just, it depends. That just depends. The other thing is whatever comes up in that, public comment, it's probably not going to be, it's not an agenda item on the board, so it's not going to be taken up by the board. I don't care what you say, it's not going to be, but it's good to be there, make it known. If you can see the agenda, state your position then. And if you got a whole bunch of people stating their position, about whatever, it's probably going to take some weight on that board anyway. Also get to know those. I know Mike has always done this. Get to know the members of the Board of Elections. And both sides if you can. And then you know who you can align with. And I can say this, once, the Republicans on our board knew that it wasn't me trying to be contrary to them, but to try to make sure that the people in Lenore County had an opportunity to cast their ballot as free as possible. I got a lot of support from them on that. I also got support on things like trying to get the county commissioners to put more money in to pay poll workers and that kind of thing. Even to the point that I talked to the Democratic members on our board of commissioners. They talked to the Republicans. And I'm just saying these are things that you can do. Don't give up. Don't give in to what's happening here, because it's still, they are supposed to be a nonpartisan body. Okay? They are not supposed to be supporting a party, a candidate. The only thing they're supposed to do is to make sure that there are transparent elections conducted in every county, and that they're done fair and by the law and constitutionally. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Oh, yeah.
There is a question from Blake online. Will the new board be able to submit a new plan for early voting? So I think so they can submit plans for early voting, but if there's already a plan in place for early voting, are they able to submit a new plan?
If a plan has already been submitted to the state, I don't know. Don't know about this state board. Typically, once you make a plan and the plan has been voted on and it's a unanimous plan, definitely not. If, for instance, if there is a plan and the plan has been, I would dare say they would touch an existing plan. They might, but I just wouldn't think they could. And because they have the majority, they can bring it up again. They can bring it before. What would happen, hopefully would happen, is if there was a plan that was in place that had been unanimously approved upon, those people who unanimously approved it would not vote for a change, which means it would wind up at the state board of elections.
Any other questions?
Just want to.
Oh,
Now, Edgecombe County, we already got our early voting hours and even the runoff. Because we
Okay.
got October is the municipal and the other is in November.
Gotcha.
But I would say,
Do y'all is Edgecombe County a partisan or nonpartisan county?
not partisan.
It's nonpartisan. Okay.
And the thing is, try to get the media there. If they don't let you speak, get it documented. And you want to speak, if you do speak, so it'll be documented in their minutes. But if they don't, make sure you have the media there. Now I go and record them. So we're going to get coverage. But try to get the media there so you can expose them.
that's a good point.
That's how you do it. You got to expose them.
And we'll talk in just a minute about making sure we're taking note and exposing. Courtney, the last question we have are all the directors of the County Board of Elections independent? So I guess like they are actually nonpartisan, and they are hired by the County Board of Election members. So would you say that they act in an independent manner or kind of act in the
Are you saying all boards of election, are they in
like the Board of Election Directors?
Election directors,
So, kind of crazy. It's a crazy thing. In every county that I know of, does it different. Okay. Basically, this person works for the County Board of Elections. It's hired by the County Board of Elections. But with the permission, with the authority of the State Board of Elections. I could not, our board could not fire a director without the permission of the state board of election. Nor hire a director without, I've had to hire 2 directors, during my tenure, our board hired 2 directors. And each one of them, as chair, I, of course, would have to go to Karen Brinson Bell in both cases to ask for their, permission, to make sure that this person was okay. Fortunately, both of them, she knew and they were okay to be hired, but they can turn it down. And watch that. And the one protection you got is it's hard to hire. I tell you, when we lost the one before this one, it was heck to try to get a replacement. So what I'm saying is what you want to do, so that might protect them a lot. It's just hard. People just don't want to do that job. And a lot of I don't mind telling you, I can say this. The person who retired was making something like 40,000, 45,000 a year. I had to actually get our county manager to raise that to $70,000 a year to even have anybody talk to me about this, about being a director. So, but watch out, because a lot of times if they're not doing, and you got to remember the state board is in their hands right now. So that state, the person who's at the state director of elections could very well approve, find somebody.
Okay. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's Courtney. Oh, sorry, one more question.
So,
Yes, sir. Yes.
typically, is there a significant number of people attending virtually to these?
What to do?
It depends on if they have a virtual option or not, and that's the problem. Is not there's no state mandate that they have to have like a virtual or call-in option to it.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's all. In fact, I was just in a meeting today where we were talking about sending out letters asking for more transparency within the board of elections.
Because it would be beneficial for younger participants.
It would. Oh, and I mean, especially when these boards are meeting during the day.
During the day.
Yeah, so. Yeah, so that's a really, so we'll talk more about that in a couple of weeks. And working on getting some more transparency with the Board of Elections.
Okay.
But thank you again. That's Courtney, former board chair of the Lenore County Board of
I
Elections.
said until tomorrow.
Until tomorrow. Until tomorrow.
Now,
Until tomorrow.
Edgecombe County, they don't record their meetings.
No, yeah, they don't record. They do technically have a call-in feature, but I've had some trouble before getting through to it. But a lot of them actually don't record at all. They have minutes, but the minutes can't come out until the following meeting.
They gotta be approved.
So, because they have to be approved at the next meeting. So you won't really know what they talked about in that meeting until a month afterwards, at least. Yeah, so it's funny.
You have to go there in person.
That's it.
That's
Gotta
the.
be-
So we're working on that. We're working on getting some more transparency within the Board of Elections. Yeah.
And let me say, go ahead. I'm sorry. You go first.
Can you work on getting representation for the largest group of voters in this state?
The unaffiliated.
That is another look. That is something Michael Schachter personally has. If there's a person who's going to get it done, it's that guy right there. But that is, because that's what would make most sense to me. Whether it be a 5-person board, 3-person board, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 1 unaffiliate.
How about, we're 38% of the voters. The Democrats are only 32% and the Republicans are only 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And the other little chunk is all those other.
Well, they got rid of most of those a couple of weeks ago.
They did. They already got rid. They cleaned it. Plate on them.
But there's still 2 others.
Yeah.
Right.
The Libertarians
And the green.
and the Green.
Yeah. But they got rid of like all the other interesting
So are
ones.
y'all thinking about doing anything?
That has been a point of conversation for a while too. It's just that would take the General Assembly to pass legislation that would give up power.
But the parties control.
And so that would be one of the big points of contention is having them give up power over the Board of Elections and having Dave Bullock give up some power over the Board of Elections. So we could try. And it's definitely been talked about before, but it's just a matter of that, getting that done.
But nobody's given up on that idea.
No one's given up. No one's given up.
And there's not in North Carolina's General Assembly that I know of a single unaffiliated House member or Senate.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we're not very organized.
That's the problem.
That's good.
But that is something. So, then thank you again, Courtney. And yeah, so all the rest of this was really kind of covered by Courtney, but just keep an eye out tomorrow along with the swearing-ins for these early voting, plans. So for most of ours, I don't think we really have any September elections in the eastern part of the state. So the September ones, they have to be approved by next Tuesday, July 29th. The October and November early voting plans, they have to be approved. I think it's like August 7th. So 2 weeks. So yeah, 3 weeks from now. So they'll probably talk about, if they haven't already approved of them, they'll talk about them tomorrow. So Lenore counties, they haven't approved theirs. I know Craven and Pitt are both talking about their early voting plans tomorrow for the municipal elections. And a couple of other ones within the area that I've seen their agenda are talking about it as well. So just keep an eye out for that these meetings may go a little bit longer because of those changes as well. So, in report forms. Okay, so this is what we're talking about with sharing out information. Report forms. So, we do have a elections advocacy team across the state that convenes and makes sure that the Board of Elections are operating properly, that they're making proper decisions, that we're collecting information about their early voting plans, but we're also collecting information about whether or not they have things like public comment, or whether or not they have recorded meetings or online or meetings over the phone or stuff like that. So we do ask that if anybody goes to a Board of Election meeting tomorrow or in the future, that they fill out this report form. I sent it out in the email I sent out this morning. So if you got that email this morning, it's in there. I'll send it out again in the follow-up email to this meeting. But what that looks like is this form right here. You can't really see it too well, but you'll be able to see it better when I send it in. But essentially, all it is collecting information about how you attended that meeting, whether or not public comment was an option, whether or not there was a Zoom option or a YouTube option or something like that, or a video or a phone conference option. I'll send the form out in an email tomorrow morning in a follow-up email to this, so that way everyone can get the form. But it's also, if you go to our website, click on the Elections Advocacy tab, and under Get Involved, you can also get it there as well. So that's democracync.org. Go to the Get Involved, click on Elections Advocacy, and you can get it from there as well. And if anybody online would like to do that and put it in the chat, that would be helpful as well. But collecting information about what's said, so especially tomorrow, if they're talking about early voting plans, collecting information about what their early voting plans looks like, if they're accessible. Again, they could very well not be accessible, just based off the new composition of the Board of Elections. So it'll be interesting to see, if some counties already got theirs in versus these new boards putting in place the early voting plans, what the difference is there with that. And it's also just a good little format for taking notes too, just because there will be a lot talked about, so you can use this as a guide when taking notes and seeing what you should take down, what you shouldn't take down. Okay. So we're going to talk right quick about who these new members are, because we keep talking about them. So I have 5 examples from Craven, Edgecombe, Nash, Pitt, and Wilson of who these new members are. And I also have included a link at the end that'll be in this PowerPoint that you can click on to find out who the members are in your county before the meeting or after the meeting. So we're going to begin with Craven, because Craven actually has the biggest shakeup across the entire East. There are none of the 2 Republicans that were on the board before are returning. We thought one of them was going to return. He ended up not. So there's 3 brand new Republicans, including one Mr. Michael Speciale, who we all remember, I'm sure.
Mike Shackel's best friend.
Yeah, this is Mike Schacter's best friend. You voted for him like twice last year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I do.
So this is a big shakeup because we have 3 new people. And I was talking with Mike beforehand, and we don't even know these people. I mean, besides from Michael Speciale. I've never seen them.
My babysat Ernest Richardson when he was a small child.
Really? Okay.
No, Richardson.
His parents lived in the apartment upstairs over the apartment that my parents and I lived in.
Okay.
And I'm about 6 years older than he is. And they would get me to babysit. They also had knockdown, drag out fights up there.
Oh, gracious. Okay.
He's right in good company with Michael Speciale then.
So these are the new people, but Zeta and Ronnie, they are returning Democrats. So Zeta was the board chair before this change, and then Ronnie was another Democrat that was up there. And so if you go to Craven, be prepared for a big shakeup. This is one of the things that the Board of Election Director was talking about last time that was just very interesting.
But the people who know what's going on are the Democrats.
Yeah, so, that's exactly it is. The people who have experience, they...
I can't hear her.
Oh, so she was saying that the people with experience on this board are the Democrats, and they don't have power, so... But as you'll see over the next couple of slides, this is a very common thing. So here's Edgecombe. So Edgecombe, another new, I'm pretty sure that the chair here is a new Republican as well. I will say that the other 2 Republicans are returning. So there are 4 people returning to this board, with 1 new member.
All women.
Yep, they're all women Republicans.
Yeah, I know Florence, who's the Democratic former chair.
Yeah, former chair.
Right.
We also have Nash.
Oh, before you go there, Janet Lewis, she used to be on the board some years ago, so she came back.
Yeah, she came back. Yep. And so that's the new person. So pretty experienced Edgecombe board, which is good. Nash, we have the chair is new, John Check. I'm pretty sure everyone else is the same. Paige was up there before. Kelly and Dwight were up there before. Pretty sure Joseph Bell was up there before too.
Only one I know of was Kelly Shore.
Yeah, Kelly Shore. She was the previous
Jordan.
chair.
But Chick is just come on for the first time.
Yeah, Check has just come on for the first time, and Check has also done some work before with some of the Republicans in the General Assembly. So common theme though for other people we're seeing, especially like Michael Speciale, who was in the General Assembly. And then we have Pitt. I was really hoping that Jeff Blick would become the new chair. He's a pretty great guy. But we have Gary Weaver, who I think he was a former sheriff, or he formerly ran for sheriff in Pitt County. Everyone else up there has been up there before, except for Gary. Again, common trend, the chair being a brand new person altogether. Wilson, I was really hoping, Wilson, their chair is also brand new. So they actually had some really good Republicans on the Wilson Board of Elections that cared a lot about the elections and were very fair, and neither one of them became the chair that they put. So, and this is just a slice of what it looks like. Again, if you want to find out what your county looks like and it wasn't up there, click this link when I send it out and you can find out what your county looks like. But again, very common trend for new chairs. So even if they bring back both Republicans that were there before, a brand new chair who has no prior experience in elections administration. So I was saying at the beginning, next week, at the beginning of the week is the state summer convening for the State Board of Elections. I'll be there. Courtney will be there. A couple other advocates across the state will be there. And I'll make sure to report back how that goes, because they're going to have a couple of sessions about election administration that these guys are going to definitely need a crash course in, because they have no clue what's going on. So it'll be very interesting. Yes, now.
Michael Speciale has in the past done a lot of electioneering.
Yes.
So, like, as his role being on this board, are they still allowed to be involved
Not at all.
in that?
No. No.
Okay.
In fact, so the question from Nell was, with people like Michael Speciale and Gary Weaver being up there who have done electioneering before, are they allowed to do electioneering on the board? And that's no, they're not. Which is interesting because so in Greene County last year, I don't know if y'all remember, we had some really big issues with getting people to join the board in Greene County, getting Republicans to join the board in Greene County. And that's because the Republicans wanted to electioneer for people running for state office. And so they didn't want to be able to give that right up. So it's interesting now that Greene County has a full Republican, 3 Republicans on their board, even though we couldn't get anybody to do it last year. And just that we're seeing people that are very partisan, have done electioneering in the past, joining the boards now, and doing this when in the past they have been electioneering and pushing for candidates. Courtney.
Good question, good observation. You see it happening, document it.
Yes.
That's grounds for dismissal on the board. If you have to be totally nonpartisan. In fact, I don't know how it's going to be now, but I said to board members that served with me on the Lenore County Board, if you go, because I had some stuff that was generated prior to me becoming chair of the board, by even the board chair. If you go to a polling place and you get involved in something going on there, I expect you to refuse yourself when you walk in the boardroom because you are part of this issue. So that's why you need to document that, definitely. So I'm not sure that this new chair will hold that same position.
Yeah. So Courtney was saying that that if you do see this happening, document it, put it in that sheet, or just, if this is happening at a polling location, call the election hotline, because that is grounds for dismissal, or has been grounds for dismissal in the past. We'll see if it remains that. Susie had a question, what is electioneering? So electioneering, just like campaigning or pushing for other candidates or parties or things during the election. Did you have a question?
Yeah, were you saying that Greene County, all their board of election members are Republican?
No, they have 3 Republicans and 2
Okay.
Democrats, like everyone else. Sure. But last year, when we needed 2 Republicans, we had a lot of trouble getting Republicans to join the Greene County board. So for a while, we just had Democrats because we couldn't we only had like 2, but we didn't have a 5-person board in Greene County.
And then my other thing was, I don't know, everybody might know, but for people that don't know, very, very briefly, could you tell how this process worked, how they get elected to the board of elections?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, right. And something to always review the reminders on. So the board of elections for the county board of elections are appointed. What happens is the county board or the county party chairs, they submit lists of people that they would recommend to be up there. That gets sent to the state board of elections. The state board of elections will then swear in people based off that, except for the chair of the county board of elections. They are chosen by Dave Bullock, the auditor, because he has that power over it. So it comes from recommendations from the county parties, for the county Democrats and the county Republicans, up to the state board of elections or to the state auditor for the chairs. And we have a question back here. Okay. We do have a question online. Does the clerk of court have to do the swearing in of new board members, or can the director of the board of elections do it?
2 times. Yes, the board of elections, the director of elections can. I'm sorry, I can't think of that.
Yeah,
So what can happen here is that the chair can do it. The chair can actually swear in according to statute. The chair can do it. The clerk of court can do it. It's okay. Any judge can do it. But yeah, it can be done either way. It doesn't matter. I know that when we had vacancies to be filled, I just didn't call out the clerk to do it. I did it. I have had cases where the actual director of elections did it as well.
Good question. Yeah. Thank you, Courtney. Okay. So again, just make sure if your county wasn't up here to check this to see who your new members are. And yep, Angela, these slides will be available to all participants, and all the links in the slides will be available as well.
One last thing, Lucas.
Yep.
And go to your state board meetings.
Yeah, so there was actually a
open to
state
the
board
public.
meeting this morning.
Right.
Yeah. But if you're interested in going to the state board meetings, check we'll send out those, but you can actually subscribe to lists from the State Board of Elections and get updates when they have those state board
Website
meetings.
too.
And check the State Board of Elections website. If you go under press releases, they'll have information about state board meetings too.
Are the state board online?
They are. State board meetings are online. So you
They're
don't have to go to Raleigh to go to the State Board of
You
Elections.
can, they're audio only though,
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
Yeah.
They used to be all. But the thing is, you want to go to these meetings in person.
Yeah,
It
if
makes
you're
a
able
difference.
to.
Right, I'm saying, but it
Yeah.
makes a difference when they see you in the room.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. Even you don't even say anything.
We're gonna talk really quickly, and so our next meeting is already planned. It's gonna be August 5th at 6 p.m. just because there's a lot to talk about right now. One thing we're not gonna be able to talk about tonight is that actually in one of those State Board of Election meetings last week, they actually discussed the plan about how to rectify voter registrations that don't have either those last four digits of Social Security number or the driver's license number. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk more about House Bill 958 during that meeting. But I'm just going to go really quickly to give you an idea of what House Bill 958 is. So this was originally introduced back in April. However, we didn't really hear much about it. And then we heard it introduced again briefly during a committee meeting that happened at the end of June. So this was right before they went into that 2-week recess. There was no public comment allowed when they discussed about it in committee. And then just some important things to know for the eastern part is that Representative Jimmy Dixon for Duplin and Wayne County and Representative Keith Kidwell, a favorite of people out here in the east, Beaufort and Pamlico, amongst a couple others, they're not the primary sponsors, so we can give a little credit there, but they are sponsors on this bill. And so what is House Bill 958, the election law changes, election omnibus bill, and what's in it? It actually begins with a couple of positive changes, which is really surprising. So they kind of pull you in. So it talks about increasing the number of days people have to cure their ballots, and it also gives County Board of Elections more time to approve provisional ballots and ID exemption forms. So that's pretty good. They draw you in with that.
Not as much.
And then they sucker punch you in the next section, and they talk about how this is the crazy part. This is a crazy part. Would prohibit state and county board of elections from encouraging voter turnout. So county board of elections, when it's possible First Amendment violation, would not be able to promote voting to constituents, to members of the public. It would also allow Sam Hayes,
That's a function of the Board of Elections.
which is the function of the Board of Elections. It would also allow Sam Hayes, who's the State Board of Elections Director, to appoint 25 partisan people positions. So that would replace, I think it was like 2/5 or a fifth of all staff at the State Board of Elections with these partisan appointees. And you can guess what that means when I say partisan. And there's others. There's actually one part I forgot to put up here, and that it would change it to where things like accepting some provisional ballots, accepting some ID exception forms, and other votes, whereas currently it just takes one dissenting voice to strike those down, or to keep those provisional ballots and keep those ID exemption forms for approving them. It would change that to it just takes a majority. So if a majority votes to strike those down, to throw them out, they'll be able to. And of course, who has the majority? Thank you. Yes. So it's just keeping this going. Some other really interesting parts of this, some unprecedented changes, is that it would create provisions that require photo ID for military and overseas voters, which, as we know from the Griffin case, is something that typically It's happened at a national level. And so if this were to pass, North Carolina would be the only state with this requirement of all 50 states. Some other aspects of it is it would bring back everyone's favorite thing, signature verification pilots. Those things that worked so well back in 2024 when they did the pilots. So it would bring back signature verification pilot programs. I heard it would happen to the same 10 counties that it did last time. So for out east, that included Halifax. Pretty sure that included Pamlico. And I think there was I think it was Bertie, that it also included out east of those 10. And so what that is, they wouldn't be able to actually throw out any ballots. This would only be for absentee ballots too, but it would require the county board of elections in those 10 counties to come back at a separate date to use AI screening technology to verify that the signatures on the absentee ballots match the signatures that they have on file from driver's license and things like that. And theoretically, they would throw out those ones that didn't match, or they would vote to throw out the ones that didn't match. But again, they can't throw anything out. And when this happened last time, didn't work at all. The program was really bad. We heard from many county board of elections that this was a waste of time. It took forever to do. I was in Halifax County when they did theirs. I think they did less than 100, and it still took like 4 to 5 hours for them to get through it. So yeah, really, really efficient program, and good use of taxpayer dollars. But that's another provision in there, is that they would bring back that too. And so there's a lot more in there. We're just skimming the surface with this. There's a whole lot of other provisions included within this bill that have technical and legal changes to the Board of Elections, the State Board of Elections, down to the County Board of Elections. And overall, I did mention there were 2 good things. Those 2 good things are very much so outweighed by all the bad things within this bill. So keep an eye out for this. This will probably take place over 127 that we had been looking for. There still could be some updates to 127, but we haven't heard anything about it for a while. So I do know that after they introduced this at the end of June, there was talk about them bringing it up pretty quickly and trying to get it passed through the House pretty quickly when they got back from recess. So be on the lookout for this. I think right now those veto overrides are pretty high priority, but this could be up there as well. So we'll talk more about this on August 5th. If there's any updates, and also just dive deeper into it and talk more about what those provisions are and what they mean. But I just wanted to make everyone aware of this because this is new developments here happening with this. And I'm just going to say, if Keith Kidwell's named on something, it's probably not good. And, no disrespect to Mr. Kidwell, but it's just, if we look back at history and the historical facts of all this, yeah, so that should be an indicator right there. Also, like I always say, if I'm talking about an election law that's going through the General Assembly, it's probably not a good election law. It's going to benefit remote voting. So we know what's happening here with this. Lastly, like Courtney was saying, and I'm never going to not say this, box 3. If you're doing voter registration, we have municipal elections coming up, please do not forget box 3 on the registration form. Make sure they fill it out. That way we get out of this mess we're in. And again, we did hear there is a plan from Sam Hayes, the State Board of Elections Director, that came out last week that we'll talk more about on the August 5th meeting and dive into what the plan is and what that looks like and what we can do to help. But in the meantime, stay prepared. If you're registered people to vote, keep an eye out for box 3. If you know people who need to register to vote, they can register online through the DMV without paying anything and without having an account. And if they don't have a license or just don't want to file through the DMV, they can also fill out one of these 2 forms and send them into their county board of elections or the state board of elections, and they can get it filled out. They can get it processed as well. And again, if you need any help with any of this, reach out to me. This is my email and my number. Hopefully you have it by now, but if not, it'll be in this. And I'm always here to help out with anything. But we will be back on August 5th at 6 p.m. and continue this fun conversation. And any last minute questions or comments or anything like that? Yes.
A lot of people with disabilities don't have identification,
Mhm.
on a driver's license and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
What do they do
There's a
in
box.
these situations?
So so you can do your last four of your social security, or there's a box at the very bottom that you can check that says I do not have either, and they have to go and get one of those pieces of identification before they can vote, or fill out an ID exempt. They can also fill out an ID exemption form listing a reason as to why they can't, and having a disability would be one of the valid reasons, at least in the past. Now we don't know how they would vote on that. But in the past, but yeah, you would check box 3 if they did not have that on them, and then work with them to get that piece of identification.
It's just another.
Yeah. So that could also be going to the Social Security office and helping them get their Social Security number. So they don't have to get their driver's license; they would just have to get that too, and then work with that.
There's also a group called Boat Riders.
There is a group called Vote Riders that I can send out the link to, and they have services where they'll actually like help send out like Uber cards or things like that to help people get transportation to get those, and or help cover fees for people to help get because there is a cost involved with getting a license and getting your birth certificate and Social Security card. So making sure that those are covered as well.
Also, let me.
Get
I
my
can't
phone.
over.
Get my phone.
Thank you, Terry.
I appreciate that. Let me say this. I don't know whether they're going to do anything with it or not, or changing anything. And I think it's written actually in the statute that they're not able to. It has to be a unanimous vote of the board. It's not one of those things where the state board is a policy. I think that's written in the statute. And I don't know that they can change it.
Yeah.
Unless they get a vote from the General Assembly to do it. Just say this. Anybody you know that's going to vote, if they forgot their ID and left it home, fill out the exception form. And as it stands right now, only one member of that board, and I promise you, if they fill out the exception form, I would never vote to not to accept that ballot. The reason being, the law also says, and this is the law, that you cannot investigate. You cannot see whether or not you can't ask any questions about it. All you can do is accept what they write. So the only thing you can do is accept the voter's word.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have a question back there?
I'll bring you tomorrow.
That used to be the way voting was.
It used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember the good old days.
I had a question about the new law.
Yeah.
That Governor Stein passed in regards to the DMVs and people being able to update their IDs, given 2 years to update their IDs. If that's the case, and they have their old ID and it's out of date, how does that reflect when you go and vote?
So there is, and we have materials on this. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there is like a certain period of time that you're able to use an expired ID from as well. So even if you still have an expired ID, depending on how long it's been since you got a new one or since it expired, you are able to use that ID as well. But it's just like there's a certain time, and I'll find that next time, and I'll make sure to print out some of those resources and pass them out too, especially as with the election coming up. That way we have that on hand.
If the person is 65 years old or
yeah.
older,
Yep.
as long as that ID was good when they turned 65, if it's current when they turn 65, they never have to renew it. They can always use that expired.
Yep. Okay.
But moving forward right now, because it's hard to get your driver's license renewed,
Yeah.
it's 2 years, so they should respect that.
Yeah.
That 2 years.
Yeah.
It is 2 years, I
It's
think.
2
You're
years.
right.
It is 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, y'all. So it is 7-11. Is there any other questions or updates?
I just wanted to let
Oh.
y'all know.
I'll bring it to you.
I just wanted to let y'all know that the Young Art Professionals is hosting a kickball kickback, meeting the candidates. So it's gonna be August 30th. I'll have more information for you, and the rain date will be September 6th. So it's a Saturday, Fort Totten. We're gonna cook out. It's free.
Is that for just New Bern
Just
or Craven
Craven
County?
No, just New Bern city
Just New
election.
Bern.
Those
Perfect.
candidates.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you all, and hopefully I will see you all on August 5th at 6 p.m. But have a good evening. Yep. And please, if you're able to, get out tomorrow and fill out a form if you're able to as well. But if not, that's okay. There's going to be more meetings in the future. We just got to make sure we're showing up, showing out, and we're having our voices heard at all these meetings. And
What time?
12 p.m.
Well,
12 p.m. Yep. They made it really easy for us. 12 p.m. across the board. Every county. But thank you all, and we will talk to you next time. Have a good evening.
Good. Good evening. Thank you.